What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about pre-orders in Japan and how to get your Japanese product a lot cheaper. So before we get into the pre-order side of things, I want to go over a few new products with you guys, and I promise it ties in somewhat and kind of gives me a good example to lead off on. So there's a couple new products which I got in. They were released after Shiny Star V. You probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen them. If you don't, I'm going to show you them anyway. And they are these two theme decks or battle decks, whatever you want to call them. So recently these released the Blastoise VMAX card and the Venusaur VMAX card. If you remember, back in February or March time, they released the Charizard, which would later on be in Darkness Ablaze. These ones have finally been released, and I'm so glad they did this. And it shows you what's inside. So it comes with a Venusaur and Blastoise VMAX, as well as the Vs, paper playmat, coin, all the usual stuff. These are really popular, and I absolutely love them. The art on this is fantastic. If you look at the theme decks in English compared to the Japanese ones, it's night and day. So these are really popular. They've been sold out many times in Japan, but that's not all. This also appeared, and it is the Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard one. So the Charizard one in Japan right now is sold out everywhere. You can't really get it for less than $60, which is way overpriced. I think when mine first came out, I was selling for $30 or $35. The max I sold it for was $45, and that's the max I'll ever sell any of these theme decks for. But they basically bundle this all together. And it's a way to kind of save money. If you're looking at all of these being $45 each, you're looking at, $135 just on the product. Whereas if you look at this one, I think I'm selling this for a total of $100 right now. Makes a lot more economic sense. But if you're wanting to keep these sealed, because this is much nicer to look at than this, it makes a lot more sense to do this. So why did I show you guys this? I'm going to move the theme deck, the big theme deck out of the way and use these two. Why am I telling you guys this? Well, I want to talk about pre-orders in Japan and kind of like how they work, because I know a lot of you guys are new to the Japanese scene, and I'm no expert by any means, but I have a pretty decent idea after working with many suppliers, many local stores, even the big retailers on getting these products and how the prices change so much. So a lot of you ask on every comment and DM me on Instagram, like, how do I get a supplier and stuff? Well, getting a supplier is not easy, and first of all, you don't want a supplier to begin with, and let me tell you why. So let me kind of like set the scene for you guys a little bit, so you understand and follow along with me why I say, getting a Japanese supplier might not be in your best interest. And then we'll go into the pre-orders a little bit later. That's probably more important for you guys right now, but to save myself from explaining on every Instagram DM and YouTube comment that I get asking about who my supplier is and stuff, I want to explain to you guys why you probably don't want that. So the first reason I say this is because, do you have a big enough customer base to fulfill, having a supplier? Having a supplier doesn't mean you get 3 booster boxes in and a couple gym promos and like a couple cards here and there. That means getting in 30 booster boxes, over 500 gym promos. First of all, can you afford that? Second of all, are you sure you can sell all of that? You have to convince your supplier that you can actually fulfill all of these things. So that's kind of like the first concern that you should have. You should have a big enough customer base for this. You should have a big enough space for all of this. And kind of like, are you prepared for this? Because, my room is completely full of boxes and stuff right now. You need to be able to have all the shipping equipment ready. You have to have the customer base ready. And second of all, you're dealing with a different currency. So I don't pay people in US dollars. I pay them in Japanese yen. I have to use math on how to do that, what the fees are, all that kind of stuff. You have to know things off the top of your head. You have to be up in the middle of the night doing stuff with Japanese people. You can't kind of like wake up, 8 or 9 in the morning and talk to people because it's already 11 at night for Japan. You have to be up early, stay up late, that kind of thing. And third of all, you kind of need to know the marketplace. So I knew about these straight away. As soon as they appear on websites or anything, I contact suppliers to try and get these in pre-order as much as possible. So the thing is, you know, I didn't ever start out with a supplier. I started out buying from small game stores. I've named them on here many times, from Japan, and the margins are really, really thin from there. But at the same time, it got me acclimatized to, you know, Japanese currency. It got me acclimatized to shipping. That's another thing I failed to mention. You know, you have to know how to ship stuff. You have to know about import taxes. You have to know, there's so many things you have to know. It's not just saying to some Japanese guy in Japan, hey, can you send me like 20 shiny V? I'll send you this much money. It's not really as simple as that. And also you kind of need to, you know, trust people as well. So how am I going to help you without giving you away, you know, a supplier, or my, you know, some people call it my secret or whatever? It is by being on top of pre-ordering stuff while it's still cheap. So the reason I talked about these, the main reason I talked about these, is because I want to go over to Plaza Japan, and I'm going to screenshot everything for you guys so you can see it. Plaza Japan, if you do not know, is the biggest seller of Japanese Pokemon stuff in Japan and the USA. Let's take these two for example. When these first released, when they first went on the market, these were $14 or $13.98, something like that each. Right now they're setting at $25.73, which is not too bad. But if you think about it, I bought 20 of these each. If you do 7 times 20, you know, you're looking at $140 that you have now wasted by not pre-ordering something really, really early. The biggest waste of money ever was this. Not for me, but for a lot of people, it was this. This was available for pre-order at, I think, $40 or just over maybe $45. It is now sitting at $84.10 and out of stock. When it comes back, when it's restocked, I suspect that number will increase. Usually when Plaza Japan goes out of stock, they increase their prices quite a little bit. So basically what I want to talk about is, you know, Japan is not like the USA when it comes to, you know, retail prices. So if I go to Walmart or Target, I know Champions Path ETBs will be $49.99 regardless of how much demand there is. Target and Walmart will not put it up any more than that. They stick to the MSRP. Japan does not do that. They increase prices depending on demand. If something is really, really in low demand, they will keep it at the MSRP. Comparatively, if something is really, really expensive, and let's take, you know, the really big hitter here, Shiny Star V. Sorry, I'm just getting it up on my computer right now. Shiny Star V, when it first was announced, was $39. Now, this was just after they announced that it was going to be shiny-based Pokemon. It was still at $39, and that's when I pre-ordered mine, at $39 a box. And then all of a sudden, I think I only bought 5 boxes though, because I don't really like, you know, spending hundreds or thousands of dollars on a pre-order, and I'm not really sure what I'm getting in return, and I regret not buying more at this point. But as soon as the Pokeguardian or Pokebeach, whoever got it first, released the information that the Charizard Shiny VMAX was coming to it, it skyrocketed. And by skyrocketed, I mean doubled in price. I think it was $75 it was retailing at in pre-orders back then. It's now sitting at $82.37 in Plaza Japan, and it's currently out of stock, which means when they eventually get that stock back in, you're going to see a massive increase in price. I'm thinking over $100, maybe $120 in price probably. And that's massive difference from $39. So my advice to you guys is kind of like, if you're thinking about buying something in Japan, if you're thinking about setting up your own business, it's probably best that you pre-order stuff. Now, it is risky, and let me tell you why. Because you don't really know which sets are coming out. So take, for example, there's 4 new sets coming out in the first 3 or 4 months of 2021. And there's literally no information on them. But I have already put in my pre-order. Why? Because I am afraid that the price is going to go up. I know the price won't decrease. So The only bad thing is that they don't sell whenever they come and it's just a terrible set. Or alternatively, the worst thing that could happen is the price just goes absolutely nuts if they put in, God forbid, another Charizard, or if maybe they put in a special kind of card. I've heard rumors of a new V-type card coming in. When I first got Legendary Heartbeat, another great example, bought it for $39.99, and then a couple weeks later after release, SM Pratt was selling on eBay for $99.99, and all these eBay sellers were selling them for like $90+. You have to just be ahead of the game. You cannot be lagging behind, and if you lag behind, your margins are just gone. And that's the crazy thing about Pokemon is, you have to be ahead of this stuff. Now, I'm not telling you to use Plaza Japan. I don't think Plaza Japan is a very feasible way to be selling booster boxes. And a lot of people see the really cheap prices on here for Pokemon stuff. They just don't take into account, import taxes. They don't take into account shipping. The prices of shipping change all the time. I cannot tell you how many times, I'll buy a ton of booster boxes, maybe 30 booster boxes, and it'll be, $120 shipping. The next time it could be $220 shipping. The next time it could be $80 shipping. You never know. It depends on how busy DHL, FedEx, Japan Mail all are. So you got so many things to think about. It is really not as simple as getting a supplier. There are so many factors involved. And I kind of wanted to make this video just because, I get so many emails or direct messages or comments asking about suppliers all the time. And I understand why. But at the same time, a lot of you guys just aren't thinking about all the costs that are involved if you're not selling in huge bulk, if you're not selling, if you don't have the right customer base. I'm kind of lucky in the way that I have a really good active Instagram user base. If you don't have that, you're going to really fall behind because, originally I said Facebook was a great place to sell, but Facebook's becoming so saturated, so saturated with people selling stuff constantly. To get your post up to the top when there's 60,000 people trying to compete with you and sell things by the minute, it's really, really, really difficult to get up there. So using Instagram, if you have an Instagram base, is a great way, and I'm kind of utilizing that a little bit more. The more followers you get, the more eyes you see on it. With Facebook, it's just getting really difficult. I think Facebook's still amazing, and I do sell on there. I do make a lot of good sales on there, but I am quickly realizing that as time goes on, with more and more people joining these Facebook groups, less and less people are seeing your posts because there's so many posts. So hopefully I answered a lot of your guys' questions. It is really difficult for me to explain why I can't give you my suppliers and all the secrets or whatever, but I do try my best to give you guys information without giving you my everything that I have. I try to give you guys everything apart from who my supplier is or who gives me what. So I appreciate you all listening. I hope you learned something today. That's why I try to do with my videos. It's I'm trying to pass on knowledge. I'm trying to pass on some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. I know mine is not really about opening stuff as much anymore. It's more just me talking to a camera, and hopefully you guys get something out of it. So I really appreciate you all for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I hope to speak to you guys soon. Thank you.